I have to retake my sketchbook tour. Not because I lost a file or something silly like that, but because the previous time I tried looking through this good old thing, it got to be over 35 minutes long due to my ramblings. So, I'm gonna try to go a whole lot faster because I know that we all have really short attention spans, and I'm the one who has to edit this, and I don't feel like doing that. I don't feel like finding 35 minutes worth of Zelda background music. I'm sorry, I can't. But anyways, time to start. Boom! Here's the opener. A lot of you have already seen it probably because of the shorts I've done. A lot of these are for shorts, such as this one. And then during a lot of these first ones, I was doing a drawing challenge of completing a drawing a day, so that way I could figure out what coloring style I liked the most. I'm not going to try and explain every single drawing just because I basically covered what I did each day in these little sketches and doodles. And I say sketches and doodles because they're not all proportionally correct. Some of them aren't colored as well as I'd hoped, but that's because this was a study to figure out what coloring style I prefer. A lot of them are self-explanatory, and some of them are more personal, but basically I just drew what happened that day, and then whenever I turn over here, it's a sketch from my little cousins, which are illustrated a lot in these next few pages. And a lot of these are also requests for my little cousins, because you gotta do what they ask, you know? They're so cute. But basically, I did sketch journaling, I guess you could call it, and it's so much fun. I should really do it again, because I could remember vividly all of my favorite parts about each day that we did while I was visiting my cousins. So I think I will try to do this again whenever I do like a vacation or something, just so that way I can remember what happened. It's almost better than pictures, because who looks at their pictures? I don't. I take a lot of pictures, but I don't look at them. But yeah, it was a very fun week. I absolutely love my little cousins. They're so cute. And then here's one that my little cousin Heidi requested. She loves The Little Mermaid. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna skip over the next one because it requires explanation that I don't feel like getting into. Here's a sketch of some original characters. Another quick requested sketch from a swim meet. Some tests and stuff because nobody has a perfect sketchbook. Some more fun. Then here's some others over here. And then here's some of my sermon notes. I really like this one. See, that's probably why my previous recording take of this went so long, was because I would ramble on about my sermon notes. But if any of you have questions about these kinds of things that I took notes on, I would be very happy to answer them. But basically, this is a sketch of an important phrase that I heard, which was, "We have forgotten how to walk on water." Now, here's some messy sketches again, and also, I'd rather chew glass. And here's, oh, I somehow skipped over this the last time I recorded, so I'm glad I'm going back. But here's this. It's one that I'm quite happy with due to the posing and stuff. Then here, this is one that I do want to elaborate on, because these are notes that I took 2 months ago when I really started to get a lot closer to God, and I am just so happy that I did this. Basically what I did is I had a lot of questions. I had a lot of things that I wasn't quite sure about. Just various things. It wasn't even about Jesus himself. I believed all that stuff. But what I didn't quite know was the answers to some questions that friends would ask me, and I was like, oh, I don't really know the answer to that biblically. I just know that somewhere in the Bible it says this. So what I did is I made sure that I went over and actually looked at all this stuff. So these are all very messy notes, but these are all very important verses in my opinion, going over just some things. And one of the channels that I used in particular was known as Wise Disciple, so I'll actually add that to my suggested subscriptions on this channel. But it's just, these were all notes that I took from each of those, and it's just, I unlocked so much information just by studying, not just from opening the Bible and plain reading it, which is still good, but if you have very specific topics that you want to research, find good sources. There are so many on YouTube, even Google. If you're like, what does scripture say about this? It will give you good results. But another app that I recommend, if you are doing a specific word study and you want to find a very specific word in the Bible, there's an app called the Logos app and Literal Word. Those two are both really good for finding specific words in the Bible. Now, you got to remember that not every word is in the Bible, but there are synonyms and there are examples, which is why I also recommend Google, or at least some sort of search engine that can, surprisingly, AI answers are really helpful. Now, don't fully trust it, but at least get those general references and head out with them and do a little study in your own Bible. But, use the tools available to you. This is becoming one of my favorite verses as well, so that's why it's all fancy on this side and all highlighter nonsense on this side. I can understand this. Nobody else will, probably. But anyways, here's another one of my characters as a pony, because I can. Then here's some stuff for more shorts that I made. I didn't really want to draw her as a gender bend because, I don't know, there's something that does make me a little uncomfortable with the idea of doing that to a character. And she's already fairly tomboyish aside from wearing a skirt most of the time. But anyway, I decided to draw her without trauma instead for that little trend. And then here's another one I'm quite happy with. And then this character, I'm gonna be changing her a lot because she was, she needs some help. She needs some rewriting. Anyway, here's another one for a short that I did. And then a sketch I never came back to. And another one for shorts. And another one for shorts. I still have a few of these up, not this one anymore, but Then my other channel hit 200 subscribers like a while ago, but I decided to delete that channel because I just didn't feel like maintaining a personal channel. I like this channel because it's mostly one topic. I don't need to worry about what goes on here. It's just very simple, art and Jesus. And then here was another idea for more shorts. I lost motivation. It was a continuation of that I Wanna Be song, but with so many more. I actually listened to the whole song and wrote down all of the descriptions and wrote down characters that I thought would match, but I just couldn't do it. Then here's some testing of soft pastels. Those are nice. I like using them on top of watercolors. Then I did some research on Neocaridina shrimp, as in like the standard red cherry shrimp. And I found out I cannot have cherry shrimp because we have copper pipes, and that is lethal to shrimp, so couldn't do that. Here's some more sermon notes that I took from my own church, and some unfinished sketches, I guess. Some little sketches, and then this is what I feel like the peace of God feels like. I just wanted to draw it and try and show this is just kind of I don't know, this is how it feels for me. Like, all this stuff could be going on. Like, all this anxiety, all this fear, all this worry and stuff, it just is blocked. It's gone. It's there, it could be there, but I feel like I have this nice little protection around me now. It is so nice and peaceful. And it's also like this, you know? Like the joy of the Lord, and I wanted to draw it's so big and all that, because that's really how it feels. And I really pray that everyone who knows God will get this understanding and this peace. It is just so nice to know that everything that happens, it is for His glory. Like, we may not like it, we may suffer, we may die, we may go through all sorts of trials, but in the end, it is God who will end up glorified from it. Like, that is why there is free will. It's so that we can choose to glorify Him. And I just love that. It is so wonderful to think about. And it's like, I am not strong enough to prevent the will of God in my life. I love that. There is no one who can do that. And my heart goes out to those who have had terrible things happen to them. And I can't say I know what God's plan is for them, but I know that it is not something that He will just use for nothing. And I'll be praying, and I have been praying for those people who have gone through hardships that we don't know why yet, but I know in the end we'll understand, you know? Then I was trying to do a Fruit of the Spirit study on this page. I failed, but I did at least do the Bible study part of it. I didn't do the drawing study, but I did do the Bible study. Then I drew Reepicheep from Narnia because, well, I've been really into the Narnia series lately. Oh my goodness, it is such a good series. Then I drew this with a child because she was so shy and adorable. So I wanted to do this, and I asked her to draw a tree for me. So she drew a tree, and yeah, she was quite happy with that. And she's a little bit less shy now. Then I decided the rest of this sketchbook would be more of a sketch study, so there are no more finished pieces in this one. However, there are a few coming up that I think are pretty neat. I did a hand study, found out I can't draw my hand like this for some reason. I don't know, I'll figure it out at some point. Then some little notes from work, or just doodles at work, because I was like, what am I doing? But, you know, I eventually learned what I needed to do and all that. Some more sketches. Some expressive posing that I wanted to try testing. I need to look out for, oh, yep. Okay, so the next one, I need to give a trypophobia warning because it's kind of bad. But here it is. I'm sorry for those of you who struggle with trypophobia. Okay, it's gone now. Now I'm on a picture of my fish. So here's Jamie and Atakan, my little bit of fishies. And then The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. Very quick sketches. I was quite happy with a lot of these. Just visual sketches. Then I did a 10 Commandments study because I realized I don't have those committed to memory. So I changed that, and now I have them pretty much memorized. And yeah, they're really good. I mean, impossible to follow, but it's a good standard to strive for, you know? And then on that same note, there was a little note over here of like, we don't have the authority to bless sin. Like, we don't have the authority to tell people that, oh, well, it's only a little thing. It's not that bad, you know? We can't bless something that is deemed bad by God. However, we can bless people because He says that people are good, you know? And besides, we're supposed to love the people, not the sin. And maybe ask them how they justify certain things, you know? Here's some character sketches of Henry that I don't think they turned out how I wanted. He just didn't look right. Then some more Jesus notes, because I can. I really want to do the last one, just take a nap on a boat. It's all a joke. But anyways, here's a sketch I did. I did several of these at an Awana conference that I went to. It was so long. Oh my goodness. Then here is the long-awaited sketch of Hana and Atreus. I don't know how to say his name, so I'm just guessing it's fancy like that. Because, you know, this orphan kid definitely has an accent. I feel bad I kind of messed up what I envisioned he looks like, but I did get it eventually, okay, in a later page. I drew the willow that the rat incident happened at because I wanted to add them, but I didn't because, oh well. Then I drew my most traumatized character for one of the breakout sessions I was in for this conference. It was called Trauma in Children or Kids, I don't know. And it just went over these little things over here. I don't feel like explaining all of it because this is already 17 minutes long. Then here's a silly little thing that I thought of about work. And here is a much more detailed highlighter sketch of Atreus. Because yes, I'm much happier with this one. He looks so cute. Then here is a verse, one of my favorites, 2 Timothy 3:15. I also considered doing 1 Timothy 4:12, which is a really good one. I highly recommend you look it up. It's a very good verse. Then here's a sketch of Nightmare Moon, and a sketch of the Dutch Bros Lucky Duck delivering drinks in an inner tube to a caffeine crazy rabid raccoon. It's in a tree and all that stuff. He's just so happy to give people their coffee. Then some olives in an ink bottle. A little bluey themed sketch. And why should I care? Then Twilight Sparkle, if you can tell that's what this is. Little sketch of Fluttershy. Sketch of Rainbow Dash doing her rainbow. Then Pinkie Pie, of course, because we cannot forget the Pinkie Pie when drawing the ponies. It's the one that everyone thought I liked the most when I was little. No. Then here is Rarity. And finally, Applejack. I ran out of room for her on this page, but I have the other side for this. And here is the final page. Now that cut off about 15 minutes. Aren't you glad I did a retake? Anyways, this is a very messy sketch of Soul, one of my OCs, pushing aside Henry and Corbin because he acts a lot like Lego Batman and Corbin acts a lot like Joker, and Henry just fits the role of Robin because, yeah, but he doesn't really act like him. And then over here, look, I still draw stick figures for when I'm tired. And I did me facing palming into a pillow because it's almost midnight and I didn't feel like doing a super detailed sketch of this, but you can get the idea of what's going on here. Also, yes, he is standing on a box. He's not actually that tall. But anyways, see? It is complete. And that is my July through September sketchbook. And now I'll be moving on to this sketchbook that I got from Hobby Lobby for Inktober. And yes, I know this one's a little bit thick, a little thicker than my standard ones, being about, oh, well, they look the same, but if I squish them, yeah, that's a lot thicker. But I will be focusing on sketch studies and doing more drawings of like one per day at least in this one, so that way it goes a little bit quick, because my camera can't focus on this. But anyways, that would be the end of this sketchbook and the beginning of the other one. Ah! Focus, please! Yep, okay, there we go. Anyways, I will see you in the next sketchbook tour, and at least in this one I'll be posting shorts for each day of the Inktober's, and I will try to continue doing a drawing a day afterwards, just because it's fun and why not. Along with the Inktober's though, I'm also trying to do a Reformation study each day, so if you're interested in that, I recommend checking them out. It's just a little mini study. It's not anything super in-depth because those are 1 minute long shorts. You can't get super into it there. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed my sketchbook tour, and I'll see you around. God bless you. Goodbye.